All right, let's call this meeting to order at 8:36. All right, roll call official for the meeting. CD1.
CD1 Nick Curfews is here.
All right, CD2.
CD2 Jacqueline Campbell is here.
CD3.
James St. John through CD3 is here.
CD4.
CD4 Carl Weisig's here.
CD5.
CD5 Adam Plasky is here.
All right, CD6.
CD6 is here.
CD7.
CD7 David Norton here.
CD8. Logan, you still here?
Yeah, did you? I thought, yeah, I just said it. I must have still been muted, I guess.
Okay.
CD8 Logan Hoy, I am here.
CD9.
CD9 Andrew Kimball here.
CD10.
CD10 James Repass here.
CD11.
CJ Cunningham here.
Treasurer.
Robbie Pinkleton proxying for Treasurer Dan John here.
All right, Mr. Secretary.
Secretary's here.
Mr. Vice Chair.
Present.
All right, Chair Jennifer Leatherberry, I am here. All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, any objections? All right, agenda is approved. All right, so officer reports. I sent out my report to everyone. I did just want to reiterate the delegate allocation, which the deadline for that is October 31st. So they're going to look at all the national membership numbers at the end of October, and will be allocated delegates based on where our national membership numbers are. So as of right now, we're still going to have 39 delegates, but if we can recruit a bunch of members, we could possibly have more. So if you know of anyone who used to be a member that maybe let their membership lapse and would be interested in joining again, that would be awesome, since DC is right next door to us, and it would be lovely to have more people be able to serve as delegates at convention.
Madam Chair, if I may ask, did anyone else report having the problem I had of not receiving an email from National?
Possibly. There were a few people that did have membership lapse that I noticed in the CRM when I was checking memberships for today. James?
Yeah, that is something to keep an eye out for. Even if you have had what's marked as a recurring membership when you signed up before, I think they were having some problems with their CRM. And at one point I changed my email address years ago, and it actually still went to the original email address even when I did renew. So the receipt went to the wrong place. So just keep that in mind. I ended up just screenshotting the transaction myself to save my records. It did go somewhere, but if you've changed emails and or we're expecting an automatic renewal, you might want to double check.
Okay, that is true. They changed the software they were using for donations. So I know recurring donations had to be re-upped earlier this year or late last year. So Logan?
Yeah, I just wanted to put in my experience as well as some evidence there. I used to get emails shortly before the end of my membership period, asking me to renew. Those did not come this year, and I knew I was, I had a long while left on LPVA, so I wasn't even really thinking about it. But my national membership did briefly lapse, and I've updated it now, but I did not receive any notifications from nationals when that happened.
Okay. James?
I was going to say, for all y'all having notifications for your membership, if you become a monthly donor, you won't have this issue, and because it'll automatically just be taken care of every month for you then. So you might want to try that solution. So thank you.
Either way, I will contact National and let them know this has been a problem.
Yeah, do that.
or since our vice chair is online, maybe he can take note of that as well. All right. Is there anything that anyone would like to reiterate from their report for the good of the order? All right, let's go to committee reports. Oh, James?
I was just going to say, donate to our candidates. They need money. Dave Krantz, Joshua Huffman, and Michael Bartley, they could all use your funds as well as us. So give.
Thank you.
CD1 Nick Curfews, I will say a little bit because I didn't send in a report yet, and Mr. Secretary, I will send that to you. But we did recently have Mike Termott speak to us, and we also had an event at the Hanover Brew Jam recently, which were nice. And yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kimball?
Yeah, so I've tried to announce it as much as possible. I had a conversation with Austin yesterday, I believe. So his membership has lapsed, and he is stepping down as chair from CD9. I'm the vice chair, but according to our bylaws, I'm assuming the responsibilities of the chair in his absence until we can have a special convention. So that's something I'm working on organizing to elect a new chair for the 9th CD.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on to committee reports.
Before we go to that, I will say I did hear from Dan. I did ask him about any treasurer information he wanted to share. If you wanted to go ahead and hear that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Balance for the accounts for the state, it's $24,331.69. With a outstanding $1,000 for Mr. Tim Lewis for potential legal fees. And in the federal account, the balance is $100. No, I asked him if there was any like notable expenses. He says no, it's just the usual monthly stuff of the mail service, the Zoom, the accounting software, etc.
All right, thank you. Mr. Vice Chair.
So we might have to wait for Dan to get back to answer this question, but I believe in our last meeting, or maybe it was 2 meetings ago, we had approved $2,000 for merchandise. Does that number reflect any amount of money spent from that? And if you don't know, that's fine. That might only be Dan.
Yeah, that would be a question for Dan. I do not know that information.
Mr. Secretary.
Just to kind of touch a little bit on that, to my knowledge, we've not submitted anything for promotional items, and that was actually one of the things I was going to kind of touch on in old business today. But technically correct, there is the 2K that should be sidelined, so to speak, for promotional items. Over.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else have anything to add for reports? All right. 50th Anniversary Committee. You have a report for us?
So it has been a really eventful month. I have 3 points. First of all, we were not able to have a meeting. I kept trying to figure out how to schedule one. We've had a family member who has been placed on emergency suicide watch. We are currently trying to file custody for Jesse's daughter. I'm about to file a harassment charge against one of our neighbors. Our HOA is trying to put a lien on her house, and we are awaiting orders to see if Jesse is going to be reassigned to another state. So there's been a few things going on. As it stands, I did still come up with some ideas. I was wondering if maybe we were looking at the dates backwards, and we should come up with 3 dates and then call the people who we wanted to have come to our event and see which date would be the most popular amongst them, in addition to finding out what is best for our Virginians. So if we're trying to have guest speakers or performers or whatnot, and it turns out none of them can come in a certain month, then us choosing that month may not be the best idea. So I was going to pitch this idea to our committee, but these other things came up. The third point is I would put in an official request. Now, I also should say, we anticipate at least several of these things being resolved in the next 3 weeks. We'll find out if we're going to be staying here or not. I will be dealing with the HOA and the neighbor situation during that time. We are going to the courts to start processing the paperwork and whatnot tomorrow. And so we should know, a variety of these things should be at least not quite so pressing in the next couple of weeks. However, I would like to put in a request, if you think I should stay on as chair, that we either appoint or vote for a vice chair. In the event that I am not able, I would like to have somebody who can be my second, if you think I should stay. So.
Who else is on the committee?
We have Maria Repass, there is Tim Lewis, and we have oh gosh, his last name, it's not Odell, it's
William Ogle.
Thank you. Yeah, so those are the people we have on our committee right now. Nobody else has decided to move forward with joining the committee, although we are certainly, appreciating anybody else who would like to, participate.
All right. James?
Yeah, one thing I'd say is normally if you want to name a second like that, and hopefully everything gets resolved well for you here soon, definitely hope for that. You could do that in the committee. I don't think you technically need the SCC's permission for that one.
Okay.
But it might be a good idea to put out some calls for extra help if it sounds like you guys need it.
Okay. I'm new to this, so I'm, learning how the proceedings work and what the proper order is and whatnot.
All right. Well, I hope you get all that stuff resolved soon, Jacqueline. We would be sad to see you go.
I don't want to leave either. We just bought a house last year. So, but I wish I had better news for the party. I was super excited about it. Anyway. I will be this week though, putting in a request for another Zoom call with the team, and at which point we will decide if that is how this works, who should be the vice chair, and maybe also put out a request if anybody else wants to join the committee.
Okay. Will do.
I am curious what you think though of the idea of us asking libertarians who would come to either perform or participate, who might be coming out of state, if you think that's a good idea to kind of view it that way, see what their schedule looks like. I'm worried about conflicting commitments. on anybody who we might have been really hoping would show up.
I don't think we can work around, the schedule of 2 or 3 people, but that's up to you guys.
Okay.
All right, candidate support committee. That is Mr. Lewis. Is Mr. Lewis here?
I assume that's Tim in the participant list.
I assume so. But anyway, we have 3 candidates running for office. Like we said before, they could use donations, they could use volunteers. All right, affiliate support. Anything new there?
Nothing new.
All right, state convention planning committee. Mr. Pinkelton, did you want to give a report?
Dean, did you want to speak to this, or did you want me to speak to this? Dean?
Don't see Dean on here anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, in his stead, I can give an update. Dean and I have been working very hard at this. I would like to extend some, I'm drawing a blank on words right now. Appreciation, thanks to Jen, Jason, as well as Dr. Lark for being of great assistance in consulting on these matters. Right now, we're still waiting for the contract. I sent the event coordinator an email yesterday just to sort of see where we're at on that. So the date we're looking at right now is March 2nd at the Highlands. Again, nothing's set in stone until we sign that contract. But I have been told that date is in conflict with Pennsylvania. At this point, I don't know how Dean feels about it, but we can't juggle around the date every single time we hear there's a schedule conflict. And the date of March 2nd was much better than the initial date we were looking at in February in terms of weather concerns. And we cannot push later with this venue. Because then we're getting into wedding season and the price will go through the roof. In terms of seating arrangements, Jason was very kind to come out with me and look at the venue a couple weeks ago. So it's going to suit our needs just fine. And in the ballpark of figures, we're looking at around approximately 2,600 for the venue. And then, in terms of our catering costs, that's going to be covered by people who pay for the food. So I think we're looking like we're in good shape.
Excellent. Mr. Vice Chair.
I just wanted to mention to Robbie that I was at an event with Dave Krantz earlier today, and he has some professional experience in this area. I think specifically he works in the hotel industry, and he had offered to help out if you were interested. I don't know if he wanted to be like a permanent committee member or anything like that, but at least consult. So
I am very interested in Mr. Krantz's help. I was going to reach out to him as soon as we sign the contract.
Okay. I'll put you all in touch offline.
Oh, there is one other matter for the SCC. I forgot. Again, this is contingent on us signing the contract for the venue because nothing happens until that's locked in. I understand that. That being said, under the advice of Dr. Lark, Dean and I have agreed that the choice of parliamentarian will be up to the SCC. Neither one of us wants to step on that beehive. So that's up to you guys once we get everything else sorted.
Paul.
While I think there are some parliamentarians who dispute on either side of this, I believe the choice is actually up to the convention chair.
Yep.
So presumably Jen, unless, please show up. Thank you.
I will be there. The reason we're not doing the last weekend of February is because I'm not available.
I will note that the last weekend in February would also conflict, I believe, with either Texas or California's convention, which would be actually a very big deal.
All right. Well, thank you for your report, Robbie. All right. Old business. Bylaws amendments, Mr. Vice Chair.
I move to table this until after new business.
You get a second?
I'll second that.
Hang on. Point of I guess parliamentary inquiry. Since we're technically changing the order of the agenda, would that not be an agenda change?
Yes, that would be.
Okay, I'll rephrase. I motion to amend the agenda to move item 6A after new business. And like after campaign updates underneath new business as well.
I'll second that.
All right. Anyone opposed? All right. We will move that to after campaign updates. Mr. Secretary, do you want to talk about the promotional items?
Sure. Yes. Just 1 second. Getting caught up on the notes here. Okay. So I've come up with a list of swag and stuff like that, and I've obviously kept it well within that $2,000 range. The question that I actually have for the wider group here is, whether anyone's actually given any consideration to events in your respective areas. And I know that I've been bringing this up for several months now. I'm hoping that we actually have a demand for these items, because at the end of the day, if we're not going to wind up doing any of these events, then it doesn't make sense to drop this money. We've got 2,000 earmarked. I'm really hoping that we can actually use these items that we would be purchasing, but I want to hear from people that they have events in mind before we pull the trigger on it. I mean, it's $2,000, so I think it's it's just shy of 10% of what our current budget is. So let's consider that as well. So does anybody have any events that they've been looking at? I know fall is crazy full of events in the area and in our state. So if you do, send me an email, do something. But if you have any input, I would be happy to hear that now.
Oh.
Yeah, the South Central affiliate, they're doing a Dinwiddie Fair in the first week of October.
Excellent.
So I'll have the I got a meeting Thursday, so I'll have them get in contact. Who am I talking with?
This is Jason.
Okay, I'll have to get a hold of you, Jason. The secretary, about some of that stuff.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
All right, Ms. Campbell.
Yes, I know that there were a lot of ideas for the kinds of swag to be purchased, tossed around. I was curious what was ultimately decided on.
Stand by 1 second. So mostly what we're looking at is business cards, buttons, bookmarks, bumper stickers, lanyards, bottle openers, which just on the bottle opener side with respect to LP Central Virginia, it seems like we can't keep these things in stock long enough to do more than a few events. So I'm probably going to up the number of those that we would pull. So stickers, koozies, tablecloths, and then we've got a few of the other specific items, like the larger items like hoodies, sunglasses, t-shirts, hats. Like those are obviously a little more expensive. Those are the kind of items that if we decide to start up like an online store, I think that would be more appropriate. But I don't necessarily want to go, and since they're also so kind of quasi personalized and the sense of sizes and whatnot, I don't want to try and say, hey, we need 12 larges, and then, we just get a bunch of smaller, super extra large people. So that's more or less just kind of a round robin 50,000 foot view on the swag items, but it's your typical stuff that you're going to see pretty much anybody giving out. Again, pens, magnets. We can do yard signs, but I'm not terribly enthusiastic about those personally. That's about it. And right now, with what I am shooting for, I'm projecting about $1,300 out of that 2,000.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Vice Chair.
So I guess two follow-up questions. One to Mr. Bruce, and I'll start with that one. So are bumper stickers in the current plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Those from what I can tell right now shoot at a little bit less than $1 each. So that's those are the ones we probably shoot for.
Okay. And I don't want to put him too much on the spot, so if he's not interested, then go ahead and pass. But I see that Mr. Ogle is in the gallery there. Has LP Nova been talking about any events? I know y'all had tossed them around, but I don't know if any triggers were pulled.
Hey, Paul, this is William. We were looking at the Fairfax Fall Festival. We attended it last year, but the process for applying this year escaped our attention in time, so we missed the deadline. We are on the waiting list to attend, but not on the actual attendance list yet. And so far, that's the only one that we've taken any action on.
Okay. If you all get any nailed down, let me know, and I'll work with Jason on getting some of the swag up for y'all.
All right, great. Will do.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of compile a list here. I'm gonna push this out. We can do an e-vote on it if anybody has any, input or whatever. But otherwise, just let me know about these events. I mean, one of the best places to go is to just go on Facebook, just look at events in your area, and they'll give you like a whole projection for tons of events that are happening in your area forecasted out over the next like 6+ months. So just go check those, because otherwise, I mean, we're missing out on two things, and I think the big one there is really getting our name out there and getting our presence out there. So that's all I have for this section. I feel like I'm to a certain extent beating a dead horse, so please just let me know if anyone has questions.
All right, thank you, Jason. All right, on to new business, campaign updates. I have Mr. Huffman here, who is running for state senate. Would you like to give an update on your campaign?
Certainly. Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you to the folks that have donated either their money or their time. A handful of you on here tonight have, and I certainly do appreciate that. The campaign is still going forward. It's, I guess we have good days and bad. we've had 2 candidate forums so far. Unfortunately, the incumbent has not participated in either. And as far as I can tell, everyone I've reached out to, about future events and candidate surveys, he's not done any of those. So yeah, of course, unfortunately, I had a bit of frustration earlier today. I found out that the Family Foundation, is that right? Yeah, has released their candidate survey results, and didn't bother to send me a survey. Uh, so obviously I did not fill that out because I did not get one. Also, rather disappointed, they do not list my party affiliation on the survey. The survey results either. So I plan to call them about that. I don't think it'll necessarily do any good. But yes, and I actually reached out to another candidate who's running for state senate in a neighboring district. She said she actually got the survey, but just like as the case with me, there were no answers given for her survey results on their publication. So yeah, of course, one bit of interest that might, of course, I know he's going to be in various parts of the state. Chase Oliver, of course, is coming to Virginia, as you may know, and he'll be doing a campaign event with me on October 26th. We may have another one the morning of the 27th. I'm still waiting on that one, but if you happen to be in the area, and I haven't met him yet, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at. I guess if anyone's interested, now I need to sort of update the link. If you'd like to donate your money to my campaign, there's the link for it. But thank
you very much. Yes, Chase Oliver's campaign will be coming to Virginia at the end of October. They're in the process of setting up events across the state, so we will make sure that information gets out to everyone once everything is finalized.
If I may ask Josh a question, I'm sorry, I can't figure out how to raise my hand on this thing anymore.
Go ahead, Robbie.
Mr. Huffman, what part of the state are you running in?
Oh yes, I'm running. Well, you'd call it the Central Shenandoah Valley. I mean, it Page County, Rockingham County, the city of Harrisonburg, a good chunk of Augusta County, Highland County, and Bath County.
Right. Thank you very much.
Certainly. Thank you.
All right. And I have Michael Bartley online. You would like to give us an update on your campaign?
Sure. So we've got my campaign. Chase Oliver is also going to do, we're planning an event on the 25th with me. I'm in Hampton Roads, so if you want to meet him, I guess you have multiple places in the state you can see him in. Again, a lot of campaign surveys filling out. I have an event on Thursday. I don't remember exactly what it is. It's I think it's Peninsula Council of the Aged. It's in the Denby Community Center in the morning.
You've got another Zoom coming up
next
month.
Yeah, the Zoom and some other Zooms and stuff. And we're having a literature drop in 2 weeks?
October 7th at 9 a.m. at my house, his house.
Our house. We're gonna try and go and do some canvassing together. And if anyone wants to see the candidate, I'll be in the general area. We'll try and hit some streets kind of in parallel and stuff like that.
We're going to try and do really well in his precinct. See if we can pull some good numbers since it's his own neighborhood.
Our goal is to get more votes than the Republican who moved into the district, moved in 4 days before the filing deadline.
Yeah, technically he still lives in Williamsburg, but he rents a room in Newport News. All right. Any questions for Michael? All right. Does anyone
Can you
have?
put a donation link in the chat?
I will get on that in a second.
Does anyone have any updates for Mr. Krantz? I did not hear back from him. Yes, Paul.
I'll try my best. So I know he was out at the Pimmet Hills Day, which is the broader neighborhood where he lives. And that was 2 weeks ago, I believe. And then earlier today was the Falls Church Festival, which obviously the rain kind of messed with that a little bit, but there's still some folks out there. And I'd helped him out at both of those events. And so this is kind of a comment for the other candidates as well, that he had talked to me about possibly doing an email blast to the CRM list with all the candidates' donation links. But I think he had a good suggestion, which was include like the official campaign photo, that sort of thing in there as well, links to any websites, that sort of thing. So if the candidates could maybe email me afterwards, and I could try to set something up and then get an email out.
Sounds good. All right, Mr. Huffman.
Actually, this is just a request. As you may know, I was, contacted the LNC quite a few times to get my campaign up on their website, and of course, it is there now, along with Mr. Bartley. If anyone, if you know how to get Mr. Krantz's information up there, that'd be great. Just because I noticed, I just checked before I raised my hand that his work wasn't listed. So
I have sent Mr. Krantz a request for information.
Oh,
and a request for a headshot, and he has not sent me the information yet.
Oh, okay. Well, very well. I didn't know. I know that it's, yeah, I just figure I'd put in a plug for him because, as you all may or may not know, when I was collecting signatures to get on the ballot, he actually came from Northern Virginia to help me out on that, and I appreciate it. So any chance I can put a little plug for him, I'll do so.
Yeah, so I'm waiting to get files from him just so that I can upload it, because I can get it up there within an hour or two. If anyone would like to bug him and tell him to get me that information, that'd be great.
I think you might be able to scrape some of it from his website. I'll drop that in the chat.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have any updates for campaigns? Haven't heard of any other presidential candidates coming to the state. All right. Well, we are back to bylaws amendments. Mr. Vice Chair.
Just finding my documents here. So, unless anybody else has something, my only amendment was it's a fairly extensive one. The general idea of it is how we recognize affiliates and how potentially, if very specific and defined circumstances were to occur, then potentially like disaffiliate somebody. Overall, my intention, at least, and hopefully folks agree with it, is that it's to make getting an affiliate up and running easier. I don't want to be the thing or the person or the entity, whatever, that stops an affiliate from forming. I feel like that's kind of not a great practice, and I know it's happened before, and I just want to make that process easier, but also more defined, because there is a bit of well, who's an affiliate and who's not? Who's an official affiliate and who's a group that hangs out in a restaurant? Like, and that's okay. That's not a problem if that's it. But it's like just to make, we can say, all right, these groups. So that's the intention behind it. I'm not able to share my screen though. Is there any way I could do that?
Hang on a second, Paul. Let me see if I can make you a host. Okay, try it now.
There's the screen. All right, everybody can see it.
Paul, can you also drop that into the chat just so that everyone else can pull it up on their respective devices?
Yep, let me just navigate to that. Oh, hold on a moment. I will need to stop sharing and close it to do that. Okay. So everybody should have that now. The first part is just striking the existing language. There is a significant portion of it that's carried over, but it's just sort of making it clean rather than just a spot here, a spot there kind of thing. So this is a bit boilerplate to start with. The local committees, hereinafter referred to as affiliates, are the county and city affiliates of the party. Party members in contiguous cities and counties may band together for the purpose of forming an affiliate. Party secretary shall keep a record of all recognized affiliates and shall be responsible for providing this record to his or her successor. That pretty boilerplate. Now we get into what is the actual process. And the purple section, the significance of those are things that I either changed or added as a result of past discussions with this committee in earlier meetings. So an affiliate shall be recognized by the party when, upon petitioning to the party secretary for recognition, it demonstrates that it combines at least 3 members. And so the difference here with the existing rules is that it is currently 5 members of the national LP. So they don't actually have to be LPVA members currently. So those are the 2 substantive changes here. Is it's going from 5 to 3, and it's going from national party members to LPVA members. This is, I think, a copy paste. Minimum number of members has to sign a petition. This is to make it clear that for any given city or county, you have either none or 1 affiliate. There is no putting the same city and county into multiple affiliates. That's so confusing and unnecessary. Let's just not have multiple groups like that. So that was, this is purple, that's something that was added as part of comments from previous meetings. It has adopted written rules for its governance. You have some bylaws. It has elected such officers as are required by those adopted rules. And the financial structure of the proposed affiliate, should one exist, is compliant with all applicable laws. This is just to say that if you are, what is it, 5, I forget the number, 520 something. It's not 529, that's the college thing. What is it?
527.
527. Either that or a PAC, or you don't have a bank account. That's okay. So that's why I have the should one exist. So that's okay to not have a bank account. Please note, and just so if anybody's thinking of starting an affiliate, if you are going to do any sort of political stuff, do not just do it out of your personal bank account. That's like legal liability stuff. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Set up an actual PAC. Even if you're not going to be an affiliate, like just don't do that. Let's not get a bunch of fines. So this was added. I know that there was some concern about that. This process of the party secretary is kind of like the point person on receiving and distributing these petitions. I don't know if that this is enough for folks, but it's something. It's the best I could come up with. So just because the party secretary is listed as the point person on keeping the records here, which is kind of a secretary thing to do, it doesn't stop anyone who's petitioning from emailing the entire SCC or emailing all the officers and their CD chair. So we can discuss that. I think that some one person needs to be the official record keeper. But I guess if we wanted to make that somebody else, it's weird, but okay.
Mr. Vice Chair.
Yes.
So if the party secretary does not forward the petition to the SCC, would that prevent the process from moving forward?
No. It's just like the general state convention where it was saying like the party secretary shall provide the contact information to send all the like petition requests or whatever we could have done in snail mail times, but it would kind of be like that where it is putting a responsibility on the secretary to do a thing, but it's not putting a requirement on the process that the secretary do a thing.
Okay, thank you.
So this is kind of the important part. So this is a significant change from where we're at now, where you are not an affiliate until the SCC approves you. This change is you meet these 6 criteria and you petition the SCC. The SCC has 90 days to review that and hold a vote to not approve. And if they don't do that, you are approved. So the default position is you meet the petition criteria and you are approved, unless a 2/3 vote to deny that approval.
Mr. Secretary.
Hey, Paul, was there any reason, or did we even bring it up last time about just saying, the party secretary or other SCC member? Could we just include that or other SCC member? Because at that point, if it's being, if it's being given to the entire SCC at that point, the party secretary can still record it. They can still be the quote unquote official record keeper. Post it within wherever it is that we need to post it so that it's, we're able to hold on to it for, posterity and whatnot. So
okay.
I know that was a sticking point last time. So why not just include in there party secretary or other SCC member shall forward all petitions to the SCC, et cetera, et cetera. Just an idea.
Okay. So would this be in general, or would this be somebody has CC'd the entire SCC, and I guess in that case there's no need to forward it because y'all already have it? Is that what you're thinking of?
No, I'm just saying that again, in that space where the party secretary is, a bad actor or something, if the new affiliate goes to their CD chair and the CD chair then brings it to the SCC, that's still information that is now recordable for the organization. The party secretary should then record it at that point, but the
Okay.
SCC can still, take action within the 90 days or whatever. So it shouldn't matter who brings it to the SCC, but at this point, what we're doing is we're allowing it to be an SCC member so that we could potentially sift through any. They could be there to sift through any,
So
random people just trying to join.
So I do want to clarify. I don't there shouldn't be any. This should not preclude any other SCC member who might have the information from forwarding it as well, or
The
forwarding it
verbiage
in the stead.
says otherwise.
No,
Yeah.
no. It is saying, it's not saying all affiliate petitions shall be forwarded by the party secretary. It's saying the party secretary shall forward all affiliate petitions. The purpose of putting it in there, my understanding, was to, if the party secretary were to fail to do so, that this would be cause for, like, getting rid of the party secretary if they're just sitting on things that they should be forwarding. So
I understand.
we can add it. Like, I don't have a problem with adding it. I guess I'm just saying I'm pretty sure we can add it and it won't change the procedure.
To me, I think it's worth it to go ahead and add it, because essentially we're adding in a whole extra step now of, well, now we're just trying to make sure that the secretary is there doing their job, or we can just make it so that anybody on the SCC can forward this up and it's still the secretary's responsibility to record it with minutes or whatever. So that's just my thing.
Okay.
That way we're spread loading the responsibility. It's not just on one person, as kind of what this the document currently says. I just want to put it right now because we haven't offered this up as a motion, though I am ready to do that, and I'm just trying to avoid a potential amendment and more votes, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Mr. St. John?
I was just going to state the way we just described doing it, of how it could happen, is currently the way it happens now. We notify the SEC that we have a petition, and currently the only difference is that we vote to approve it rather than vote to deny it. So it's the point is that I think I made up last time is the notice has to be given to the SEC, and then we can get put on a shot clock. But the point is it needs to be when we get notified, and I think that actually takes care of it. Down here in blue, it says the SCC may deny affiliation within 90 days of receipt. So once whoever gets the receipt forwards it to the SCC list, we have it on record. That is a SCC meeting just like this is. We could present one now if we wanted to, and that would be an official record of presenting it to us. And we have 90 days to deny it, as the new record would say, or we could vote to approve it right now. So. But the point should be, it's the SEC is the ruling, controlling body of the party, and we need to be the point of contact for that. The SEC, the secretary is the one that's actually recording it. So, but we're the body.
I would dispute that. I think the members are the ruling body of the party, even though I don't really like ruling as the term. But the SEC is
overall,
their delegate.
yes, but we control the day-to-day operations.
Yes,
so,
that's correct. We are the operations managers, but not the rulers. So okay, I guess it seems like there's support for that, and I don't have a problem with it. I think we need the language. So, is there any issue with the existing language, and we just need to, or is it just take the existing language as it is and add more? What's the thought here? Is it another sentence after that one in purple? Or are we changing the one in purple? I'm thinking maybe something like, in the event. or maybe not even in the event.
Why not just keep it simple and just say, or other member of the SCC?
Because it's shall, so it's requiring other members. I would want to say it is primarily the party secretary's job. If they, unless like somebody doesn't, I mean, obviously the party secretary can't forward something that nobody sends to them. If somebody were to just send it to their CD chair, then that's not on the secretary. You can't really hold that accountable. And it's like shall forward. It's like you can't forward what you don't have. So we couldn't get on the secretary for that.
Could you scroll back up a little?
Sure. I can zoom out as well if you want me to include like a larger section of it.
I would just say that in 040301, upon petition to the SCC for recognition, and it demonstrates blah blah blah, and then just remove the purple part at the bottom. Down there where it says party secretary shall forward the affiliate petition to the SCC within 10 days of receipt, because that
So
will have already been happened.
This
correct to SCC. State Central Committee.
How about any member of the SCC?
Well, they'd have to forward it to the rest of the SCC. That's when it becomes official. It's when they then forward it on their behalf.
Upon receipt of the petition by the entire SCC?
Right, yeah.
Upon by the
Well, the petition would just be just sending it to the listserv would be and getting it to this meeting.
Yeah.
That's just us in general, is the entire SCC. I don't think we need to specifically state that.
Okay, and then this is gone, and then that's just your procedure. Is like, all right, absent action, you're approved, but the SEC can have this vote, and it's a fairly high threshold. Like 2/3 is not a slam dunk for anything. So I think it should be. I think it should be tough, but not impossible. It's not like some crazy high number, but anyway. So this, upon receipt of the petition by the entire SEC, upon receipt of the petition, for recognition. There, that's better. It demonstrates that it is comprised of at least 3 members. May.
Mr. Secretary.
I think revoke, not deny, because technically speaking, we're saying you're recognized immediately.
To be honest, I think I like deny better, but I was just going to motion to accept the bylaw as it's currently written.
I would object to that because we still have about halfway to go through the scroll through it. I don't want to vote on this until we've scrolled through the whole thing.
Logan?
Yeah, I just want to say I actually don't really like the approach that you have in mind to this, Paul. What you're trying to accomplish with the that the SCC isn't really actually in your sort of framework part of this procedure, that it's just a sort of automatic thing. I actually don't like that at all. I think that you're trying to solve what is actually a pretty niche problem. Yes, it did sort of come up before, but you're doing it in a way that exposes potential additional problems that we haven't even considered. And I'm not saying that we would have to tweak this much to still accomplish what you're doing, or that what you want it to mostly do, which is really to prevent a situation in which people just aren't getting recognized for arbitrary or capricious reasons or something like that, right? But that still doesn't mean that you have to set something up so that it's this in the very strong sense that you're saying it, of it being a sort of automatic thing without SEC input. You could still have the situation, like for instance, you could just say that the SEC has to make a decision about it after, in that time frame, right? Which is what you're already saying. But like you just said, you're saying it as that they're taking the extra action of revoking it as opposed to saying that they need to make a decision in that time frame, and that if they don't, that it automatically receives recognition. You see the difference between those two things?
So are you saying it is not automatic, but it basically starts a 90-day clock, and the SCC within that time frame would have to approve somebody, but if the SCC just sits on their hands and doesn't vote at all, what would I think that's kind of
then the fallback is to what you're getting at here, that it's a sort of an automatic approval. It's like,
okay,
if a president doesn't sign a bill into law after whatever it is, 10 days or whatever, it just goes through as if he did sign it, so that you can't just sit
the
on
other way
it.
around. I thought that
Yeah,
was
it's the other
pocket
way
veto.
around. It's
But anyway,
right. But
yeah, the idea.
The point is yeah. I mean, or as another example, in Arlington, they try to stop you from getting your concealed carry permit by waiting forever to actually review the application. So several years ago, the legislature passed a rule saying that there's a maximum waiting period, and then you have to issue a provisional one at that point if it's not denied. And so everybody just ends up having to wait the entire period, get the provisional license, and then you go in and you say, hey, I've got this, or you haven't responded, give me my concealed carry permit. It's kind of the same thing. It's just where you put in, the reason you put in the window there is so that if people aren't treating the process properly, then the affiliate can get through. But you don't need to just say in the first place, oh, now they're an affiliate. Because let me give you another sort of situation. We ran into a problem last year because of the 7 people that we voted to expel earlier. We ran into a problem where we couldn't hold an SCC meeting for a couple of months. You don't want to be put in a situation where then somebody could game a system in a certain way, so that if the SCC can't even meet, then people can just create an affiliate and then immediately start acting as if they have full affiliate status.
Okay.
You got to be careful about unintended consequences and additional layers of complexity that you're putting in here. I like what you're trying to accomplish. I just think you might be going a little bit too far with the sort of automatic nature of it.
So it would be something like, so affiliate shall be recognized the party upon. So maybe sort of change this around.
So I think this is Nick, CD1. I think, a good point has been brought up, and I don't mind entertaining that. But at the same time, I don't know what we want to make the long waiting period, or it should be that it requires an SCC 2/3 petition vote, or 2/3 from that of membership or something. I don't know how to look at it, but at the same time, like a waiting period, and especially 90 days, sounds like a long time. And I'm not saying that's what was necessarily proposed, but I think that's a little too long. And a better way would be that there has to be an active pursuit to deny at the same time. Otherwise, it's automatic type of deal. You know what I mean?
Mr. Kimball?
Yeah, so what if we so instead of saying an affiliate shall be recognized, what if you said an affiliate may be recognized? Would that solve the issue?
No, I think we need more than that. I think the language needs to be reworked. I think the 1 through 6 can stay, unless anybody has an idea for other rules. But I think we need to rework it a little bit. That's what I'm trying to do down here. And then we can sort of do a compare and contrast. And I know we're kind of doing a substitute without actually having a motion. So this is not like parliamentarians are screaming in the background somewhere.
Sure. But this is good to be able to talk through this, so we can get it off our docket. James.
As much as I would like to get this off our docket, I think that that's a pretty big structural change that Logan brought up, that it perhaps should return to committee. And I would be looking to table this, I think.
I'd second that.
I understand
Jason
you have
Bruce.
to make a motion and that can actually make the meeting longer. So I want to make sure that people want to do that before I do that. But you know, I think you get what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there isn't a committee, like it's this group that approves the bylaws changes.
Yeah, no, we know that.
so-
I just mean it seems like there's discussion that needs to happen outside of the context of the meeting itself. At
Yeah.
least specifically with Logan, but it sounds like a few folks still have some items that would probably be better off clarified and then brought to the meeting, or even via e-vote once it's clarified.
We cannot do this by e-vote because it is a 2/3 to approve, and we can only do majority e-votes.
Right, you are. So perhaps the next one.
I would second a motion to table. This does seem like it's better suited to a discussion forum and not a business meeting.
all right. Anyone opposed to tabling this till the next meeting? All right. Mr. Vice Chair, apologize, but we will take care of this next time.
Okay. I think I have an email thread for this. I will type up an alternative version incorporating that change that that Logan was suggesting. And I guess maybe just sort of an informal poll. Does anybody think that what Logan was suggesting was a bad idea and we should keep it the way it is?
Yeah, I agree with Logan.
Okay. All right, sounds like everybody likes that. Okay. So I'll type something up. I'll probably just go back to that email thread. I know there was some discussion in it, but I think it's a bit stale at this point. So yeah,
Sounds good.
we'll use that.
All right, well, that is the end of items on our agenda. It's been a long night, so thank you all for sticking in.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, anyone opposed? All right, meeting is adjourned at 9:43 p.m.
When's the next meeting? Is that have y'all sent that out?
Not yet.
Okay.
Have a good one, all.